Let's talk. Hey guys, this is Formants, END.FORMANTS. It's our world. Let's talk about it. That's Russell. Toddie wants to.
Hello.
What's going on? So I told Russell that there was a lot of people in the chat that wished him well.
Thank you.
And that loved Jason Momoa. And there was people in there.
That.
I don't remember the names of everybody. You can get right in there and see. You don't even have to. You can just read the chat.
Nice.
Yeah, you can just go in there. Nobody has to see anything. Anyway, so.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, right. So isn't that nice?
Yeah.
So guess what, though? We decided that we were going to talk about some conspiracy things since the Jeffrey Epstein. Come on in. I'm not going to bite you.
You got.
You want me to bite you?
Space over there.
Well, no, I gotta just move the chair a little bit. So, the Jeffrey Epstein. Let me ask you: do you think that he? Do you think he did himself in? You got to be careful with those words on here, especially into this. Not that we're getting paid for anything, but still, we got to be careful.
Yeah, it's a sensitive topic, right?
Well, I mean, they'll I'll get in trouble on YouTube, man.
Censorship.
Using those words.
Yeah, I don't know.
Seriously, so do you think he did himself in, or do you think that he was helped along the way?
Well, I think the entire situation is strange, right?
People are strange. Here we go again. Then you're strange. You don't know that song either by the Doors?
What do you think?
I think somebody killed him.
Yeah.
I definitely think somebody killed him because of this list of names that's coming out. Doesn't look too good. And I'm not too sure how loyal he would have been.
I don't know. It's kind of a double-edged sword.
Here's the thing, man. I worked in a jail. I mean, like, it's too many things went wrong for it not to be too convenient.
Yeah.
It was very convenient. The cameras didn't work. The cameras didn't work. You don't. It's not like you catch the cameras later. You're watching stuff through a monitor, so you know if they're not working because it wouldn't show any kind of live footage. So if something got stuck, let's say you had a glitch in the system and you're looking at the monitors, you see that there's no movement for a little bit, you call out to the person in the cell so that they move or something. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, there's just too much stuff that it was too convenient.
Is there cameras in individual cells, or is it
if he was in
main lobby places?
Well, the cameras didn't work. So what's the excuse for that? So you couldn't see who came in and out of his cell. They didn't have a camera in his cell, but they had down the corridors. Those things work.
Well, there's a couple of strange.
And there's more usually than one camera. I mean, to be honest with you, and there's these mirrors and stuff that,
Yeah. There's a couple of strange things with it. I think the most strange, though, is that the two on-guard
deputies,
COs were absent at that time. So.
And the cameras didn't work.
So.
How convenient.
Strange.
Yeah, strange is a nice word of saying.
But we can talk about the actual indictment of it. Yeah.
The fact that he got caught trafficking young ladies.
Yeah.
Well, what do you want to talk about that?
Right.
Well, yes, they were
children.
between 16. Yeah, there wasn't anybody that they found, I don't think, younger than 16, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't, none of that matters.
It's crazy that the man...
He was already busted
didn't
once.
particularly partake in any strong economic, whether it's a business or, let's say, creation. But he had all this money, bought an island, and just...
Yeah, but he had...
survived off of politics.
And well, he also had friends that with a lot of money. Elaine Maxwell had a lot of money.
Right.
And
well, I mean, his entire list is all wealthy people.
Yeah. Well, of course, except for the people he was trafficking.
Yeah.
Which were just not.
Yeah.
I know that area that he was getting the girls from because it wasn't far. Well, I shouldn't say it wasn't far. It was far, but you had to take Riviera Beach to get to Singer Island. And so, like, the area that he was getting the girls from, I'm really familiar with what that area looked like. And it was it was the income of the people. There was trailer homes, and they were like concrete jungle trailer homes. They weren't trailer homes that even had like a yard to them or anything.
Did you see the house? Like
that he had?
Well, not the house, but did you see
island?
Oh,
okay,
island?
I'm talking about the homes of the girls that he that she trafficked for him.
Where they got him from.
Yeah, where they got him from. Where they just promised them bullshit like they, it's always about, preying on these vulnerable people. Even when it comes to the cult thing, it's always about, like, these are wimp-ass people that I heard she's actually doing pretty fucking good in jail. That burns my ass. Like, you know what? Yeah. Somebody should beat the shit out of her. I'm sorry, but,
I'm sure
she doesn't deserve... People are trying to get, like, financial advice and shit from her and that the other guy that's stupid. I just, I don't know.
Well, it is strange how it's always the less fortunate, and we all know it's due to the lack of care for them, right? The majority of people...
What do you mean the lack of care for them?
The lack of care. The
By
majority
who?
of people aren't going to look into, a missing kid from a trailer home as much as they're going to look into a missing kid from the Upper East Side.
Well, here's the thing. That's not what was going on with Jeffrey Epstein. What was going on with Jeffrey Epstein was that Ghislaine Maxwell was doing like a bait and switch. She was promising things to these families of these very poor, and the kids weren't. These people, the young women weren't telling.
Yeah.
Weren't saying what was going on because, they got permission from their parents. They didn't know. They trusted. The whole thing was they trusted this woman to only find out that she worked for this guy who was like a fucking monster. And I love that Prince Andrew's getting it again. And I love the monarchy. I mean, not so much since the Queen died, because I had the utmost respect for the Queen, just to be honest. I think that she took that role and made her dad really proud. I really do think that she did that as far as, she was a queen first and everything else second. I don't think that's the way her children and grandchildren have behaved. Though I do think Anne, Princess Anne, has definitely stepped up. I mean, she's always taken her role very seriously. But
I don't want to get too political.
It's not political. That's the monarchy. That has nothing to do with politics, and it shouldn't have anything to do with politics. No. The monarch, they can't even comment on politics. The monarchs. I'm serious.
But isn't that a political party themselves?
No. The monarchs. No, that's like, so the monarchs believe that they were chosen by God to be the king or queen of the country, but they have nothing to do with politics. They're figureheads.
Are they not a government?
They're not any. No.
So they don't govern the people?
No, the government of the people is through the parliament and stuff like that. They're a figurehead. That's what the monarchy is. It's an institution that could, honestly, it wouldn't matter to me personally. I mean, it mattered to me when the Queen, sacrificed everything in her life to be the queen. The monarchy mattered to me because it mattered to the person who utmost held the role. The guy that's got the role now, the king, has already done things that he hasn't made the same sacrifices as his mom. Now, I'm not saying that I would make the same sacrifices that his mom made, but she didn't put a foot wrong. I mean, like, at 25 years old, she took over a country and everything else went second. I feel bad for her children. I feel bad for her family because they went second. But she made a promise to the people in her country, and she saw that through 100%. And, we all know that her son, the king now, cheated on Diana. We know that. He admitted to that and such. And, his sacrifices weren't, what his mom made, so I don't take him near as seriously, or I don't hold him in near as much regard as I do to what his mom was. So I don't really care about the monarchy anymore. But they're not political. They're not supposed to comment at all. Not even about, like, he's very big and made a lot of comments when he was just the prince. Made a lot of comments about, like, green, the air and not using fossil fuels and all of that, and the environment and all that stuff. And he had to steer that back.
Yeah.
He couldn't talk about that.
Yeah.
So they're non-political.
So we were talking about issues and topics to speak about, right? And one of the things you sent me was JFK.
Yes.
So
do you
I'm
think
curious.
Do you think he was murdered, or do you think?
Well, something that offline we didn't speak about is, so I'm proposing it now. The question is,
You're proposing
yeah,
to me?
yeah. Would
Where's the
you?
ring?
Yeah. If you didn't want to speak about politics, why would you want to talk on the topic of JFK?
Oh, just the conspiracy theory of, was he assassinated, or is it a cover-up? What's the conspiracy of that? That's the conspiracy theories.
Okay.
Do you think that, I think anymore it's pretty clear that there was no magical bullet from like when I was growing up and heard. I was only a few months old when he was murdered.
Well, I have like a leading question for you too. Is I don't know if you'd feel
Where are you
comfortable.
leading me?
I don't know if you'd feel comfortable.
Okay.
But speaking about RFK and things that he's done.
RFK or JFK?
RFK.
Okay.
So RFK.
Okay.
Roberto.
Roberto.
But hopefully we can lead into that and kind of segue into that a little bit.
Okay, what do you want to know?
Well, let's start with the JFK.
I don't know. I'm not really friends with the family, but
Yeah, neither am I. But let's start with the JFK, and then we can kind of go from there.
Okay.
You want to propose a question?
I asked you, do you think he was assassinated, or do you think our government had something to do with it? Or do you think
I think it was both. I think that
he was assassinated by our own government?
there was political parties involved in the government.
Why?
That had ties with major corporations, and I think it was a all-involved situation, because he did threaten a lot of comfortability for these parties that remained. So, in a good way. No.
My thing is, our
So
government.
Do you think that there was too much of muddy waters?
I think that it's unfortunate because it's just we can't trust anybody that's giving us our news, or I don't know if it's them. I think now it's that, but I think maybe before it was like we couldn't trust the sources. Like people kept us. And I don't know. I think that honestly, people have kept us in the dark for a long time. More like feeding us through mazes so that we go through we get to the cheese at the end of it.
Well, see, that's what the problem is. Well, I think that's what they view as the problem is with the connectability that we have through social media and these platforms. I'll give you a great example. So, Joe interviewed RFK, and immediately after that, CNN and all these other places.
Who? Joe who?
Joe Rogan.
He didn't interview RFK.
He did.
The Junior. You got to start putting Junior in shit.
That's RFK.
No, RFK.
Okay. Well, Junior.
Okay, because RFK was assassinated in '68.
RFK.
Junior. Okay.
You ready?
Yeah, but you got to do
Tracking?
that.
Are you tracking? So he
Because
interviewed.
we get people more my age watching this, to be
Oh.
honest with you. That's... So when you say RFK, they're going right to Robert.
Do you really know age demographic?
Well, I've had people tell me in the chat.
Oh, really?
Yes. Am I making it up? Go ahead.
So he interviews this gentleman, and after he interviews him, a couple of people started generating traffic towards it, and what it changed was he interviewed, and I forget the gentleman's name, but one of the first people behind the Pfizer mRNA vaccine. And he had several patents on it, and he got a hold of Joe, and he said, let's sit down and talk about this, because I want to tell you exactly what's wrong with this and why everybody should know about it. What happened shortly after was CNN and all these news network channels were bashing Joe because of this interview, right? And they were throwing in slander and things of that nature as well, saying that he takes horse tranquilizers and so on and so forth. None of that was true. Well, he's prescribed veterinary and some stuff. But
he has. I think he absolutely has. First of all, he's known to be a pot smoker. He
smokes.
knows that.
He smokes.
But I think he's talked about taking ketamine. Actually, I don't know that
I
he's
don't think
taking
he's ever
it.
taken ketamine.
I think that I think we could look that up. But I think that, I'm not, he might have taken it the same way that it's prescribed now. I don't know. But I want to say that I think he has. But it doesn't matter. Go ahead.
So, CNN bashes him, and what the problem is that CNN can't do the numbers that Joe does, right? So in like 2 months, Joe gained like 2 million subscribers. He reaches 40 million people on a social media reel, right? So he can post something in 30 seconds, gain 40,000 views, you know, off of that post. So the reachability is different. The connectivity is different. CNN doesn't have the same abilities that the platform that Joe has, right? And they're playing through every airport, and they're still lacking the views that Joe has. So Joe has more eyes on him, more people involved in what he talks about, and the problem arises where the truthful information comes out, and I don't think that they like that particularly, you know?
So what are we talking about? We're talking about the fact that the major news networks don't like Joe Rogan?
Well, you were saying that you were watching news channels and that you can't trust the news that's provided.
Well, this was what I was talking about a long time ago, and I was saying that now all of that has changed because of social media. So back in the day, because first of all, I thought we were talking about Robert F. Kennedy. So back in the day...
I want to get into that.
Yeah, Robert F. Kennedy Sr., without the junior. So that would have been in 68. There were 3 media channels and stuff like that. There was 3 stations in PBS and some UFC or I don't know the other one. Yeah, what was that channel that would be on the other dial? The UHF channels. That's what it was. It was UHF, and you got like 33 and 45, and you got things like Leave It to Beaver. That's where you got the reruns and stuff. I remember.
Off the rabbit ears.
That's right. Don't make fun of them. They worked. You had to move them sometimes.
I'm an old soul. We were just poor.
There you go. There you go. As long as it worked. Yeah. So you're just saying that. Okay. Well, here's the thing. Anymore, it doesn't that doesn't. If you want to think about it, so Joe Rogan has how many subscribers to YouTube?
Subscribers right now, I think it's close to like 30 million.
Okay, so...
And he removed all of his content off of YouTube because they were censoring it. And
so now he's on Rumble?
No, he's on Spotify. Spotify gave him a huge lump sum.
You know, he was a comedian. He started as a comedian.
Yeah, he started as a comedian when he was like 19, 20.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how old he was, but I know that he started as a comedian.
When he was like 19, 20. He first started as a mixed martial arts, fighting.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So he was winning fights and stuff, and then he ran into the comedy scene, started doing comedy, started doing TV shows out in California, working for big business, and then fell in the UFC, and then started his own platform. But he was doing what we're doing for a very long time. Like before people thought about podcasts, he's been doing podcasts forever.
Well, I think he had to because wasn't he like censored away? I'm pretty sure he was censored away. Yeah, I mean, who's funny is that like Howard Stern, and I used to be a Howard Stern fan until I got older and I was like, yeah, now his stuff is just not so fun. It's just not. It wasn't in good taste anymore. When he did the joke about the airline, how much it would cost for the airline to hit the bridge to go in the Potomac after that airline just happened to do that.
Yeah.
That was very bad taste. That was when I was like, yeah, that was not good taste, that one. So,
that's your pivoting moment? That's when you...
Well, that's when I just thought, man, that's not funny. Like, you got to give people a chance to just mourn. They're still pulling the bodies out of the fucking water, mate. Like, what's wrong with you?
But I think, you're probably going to say, oh, that's where we disagree. But here's a good point.
We have to.
Comedy is what touches on sensitive subjects and brings some type of laughter, right? And comedy is strictly an American thing, right?
American? No. Why do
yeah.
you say American?
Oh, yeah. Because it was made here in
What?
America.
No, disagree.
Comedy, yeah, stand-up comedy was something that is uniquely made in America. No other country has done stand-up comedy.
Oh man, I think
Ever.
you're gonna. Where's the things? I'm thinking of people like Benny Hill. I'm thinking of John Cleese. What are you talking
And
about?
who
I'm
came
talking
before
about.
them?
I would have to look it up. I don't know.
Right, but
I don't know. But here's what I do know: that country's been there a lot longer than us. So I would think that comedy and stand-up comedy and stuff like that. So yeah, I would look into that.
We'll look
I'm
it
happy to look into
but
that.
I'm 100% positive that
Well, get your phone.
comedy,
It's right there.
stand-up comedy,
Why won't you
stand-up
look it up?
comedy, because we're in the middle of a podcast.
But
Stand-up
I
comedy.
can't turn this off right now. In India. Wait.
No.
Modern stand-up comedy in India. Wait.
United
American
States.
Nope. Germany, Britain. You don't just go there.
The roots of modern stand-up comedy began in 1840s minstrel shows that perpetrated racist stereotypes in the United States. The United States. This is highlighted on Google. Thank you.
I don't care.
Thank
Wait a minute.
you.
Who invented stand? Oh, I don't care. Okay, he was right. Stand-up comedy was invented in the United States by making fun of racism.
You know who a lot of people think is the first comedian?
I don't know.
Mark Twain. Mark Twain. He
You
is.
know that was not his name. You know that, right?
What was it?
It was Mark Twain. Oh, fuck. What's his name? Look it up. I'm ready to fall asleep, man. I'm so tired. Mark Twain. Maybe that was his name and he wrote under a different. Mark Twain. No. What was his name? He'll tell you. Mark Twain, American writer. It's, let me see, real name. Samuel Lockhorn Clemens. There you go. That's who it was.
Samuel Lockhorn Clemens.
Yeah, I knew it wasn't Mark Twain. He got his name from, I think, a rope or something, some sort of knot. I want to say the Twain knot. You can say where it came from. It tells you.
It's better keep your mouth closed and let people think you're a fool than to open it and remove all doubt.
That's right. Shakespeare has a lot of those quotes too, though. Shakespeare has a lot.
Do you know that they actually believe that Shakespeare was an African American woman?
I've been in Shakespeare's house.
Well, they believe that the writings were an African American woman.
In the UK.
And there's a lot of people that strictly debate because
Avon on the Thames.
her actual writings reflect exactly what his are. So her original pieces of art were what he wrote, right? But they believe that she changed her stage name, and this gentleman was basically like the face, like the actor for it. So.
Well, there's a home where Shakespeare.
Yeah.
I was in that little place.
Yeah.
So,
That's pretty.
once upon a time ago, there was a baby boy in there.
How do you know that? You were there?
Well, no, but there's like stuff that shows, like there's origin there.
Pictures?
Well, there's not just pictures, but there's there's
Paintings.
There's
There's a lot
cameras.
of
things. There's a lot of things that are there though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's cameras that go back from when there were cameras that like show the house and stuff like that. So there's like a continual thing of origin.
Okay. Well,
Stratford on the Avon.
surprising thing about Shakespeare.
If it's true.
If it's true,
know.
wouldn't that be cool?
I don't know how we're gonna prove it.
Well, that's what they're trying to do.
Right now, trying to do the.
Right
What
now.
have you heard about the case of Natalia Grace? Have you heard about that case?
Who's that?
So there's this. It's on TV now, but there's this woman, and she's now 22 years old, and she has dwarfism, and was adopted from the Ukraine by this family, and they said that she was 22 years old when she was 9 years old, and they actually put her in an apartment. So here was a woman with learning disabilities, dwarfism. So, I mean, she was small people, and had a hard time walking and holding things with their hands and such. And the family that adopted her changed her legal age, no shit, to 22. and put her in an apartment.
Wait, and
When
she's
she was
9?
she was 9 years old at the time. She's 22 now.
Wow. No, I didn't know that.
Yeah. There's a whole movie and there's a whole series.
So she
on it
lived
right
as a
now.
9-year-old.
Well,
on
she
her
was
own?
honestly, yeah. And with all of this disability and what happened in this really shitty neighborhood and shit, like it was
Wow.
fucked. So the parents went up against charges,
They absolutely should.
and the guy walked away from the charges. I think the woman's going up for charges now. Isn't that something?
It's crazy.
So what do you think's going to come up of the list of names that are coming out from
Well, I have a problem
from
with
Epstein?
I have a problem that the list of names hasn't already came out, right?
Well, some of the names have come out, right?
Some, but the
Why haven't they
entire
out?
list.
Why? Why is that?
Well, they say that a couple of the top FBI agents are on that list. And so they've been screening the agents and looking through
They're vetting
the
them?
corruption and seeing why and what and where and when and how and all of that stuff. So that's why it hasn't came out. But it's very strange that it hasn't came out.
There's some stuff that's not going to, like, I don't know why they decide to, like, hold things so that people can't know about it and such like that.
Well, I mean,
So,
if-
some water. What we're going to talk about? Come on back into my little world. So, what television shows do you watch? Do you want to talk about television shows that you
sure.
watch?
Yeah, my favorite is Yellowstone. That's the most recent.
My brother likes that.
Yellowstone. Well, it's basically how I grew up, and John Dutton, the main character, that's like direct reflecting.
I don't know
my
who that
father.
is.
He's an old-time cowboy. Essentially, it's based off of a ranch in Montana, and the family it's been in the family for generations since they came over wagon and moved to the west. And so the family has been consistently fighting off, whether it's the reservation, big banks, ski resorts, political parties. So it's a very drama-centered, modern Western Game of Thrones, if you want to put it that way.
Game of Thrones. I never got into that show, to be honest with you. I
love
felt
it.
like that was really like graphic, and I didn't expect that. The first time somebody asked me to watch that show, all of a sudden there was just like all these horrific killings one after another. You know, I liked my favorite show has to be this show from Spain, and it's called Vis a Vis, which is means face to face, and it's a jail show. It's about a woman's prison, and that show, the writing of that show is phenomenal. And even though it's not in English, and I watch it with the subtitles, because to me, you can play it and the actors, their mouths don't match, because, you know, but here's the thing, like, you hear the emphasis and the expression when exactly, but you can hear exactly, but you can hear it. So yeah. I'm all for that, and that's a magical show. That's a great show, because the writing on that show is just brilliant. It's really brilliant show.
It's brill. Is that what the new kids are saying nowadays?
Actually, it's an English term from the UK. Brill.
It's proper.
No, it's
proper
just brill. Brill and aggro. Aggro is aggravation. Why are you gonna give me that aggro instead of you're aggravating me? Yeah, there's a lot of things the UK say that, and it makes sense. Some of the stuff makes better sense than I think it does here.
Not really.
Yeah, think about a lift.
They spell tire.
Elevator. T-Y-R-E.
Yeah,
and they spell airport A-E-R-O.
Right.
Airport,
they don't even know
though.
proper English.
Well, the English came from there.
Yeah, but we created a tire.
American.
We created a tire.
We came up with American. They came up with English.
Right. So why can't they spell tire right?
They spell it perfect for the way that they spell it. We would spell it incorrectly. Is that you that draws those things, those animals up there?
No, I draw way better than that. So after I did ayahuasca.
Here we
I
go.
got back to my
Somebody
room.
was talking about ayahuasca.
I got to my room in Afghanistan, and I was feeling very creative. I was also locked inside of a room, and I taped together about 15 to 20 pages of computer paper. And I taped them on the back, and I hung it on the wall, and I had a blank canvas to draw whatever I wanted to. And so I started drawing, and I didn't know that I had a passion for drawing or that I could draw. And yeah, they're beautiful drawings, and maybe one day I'll show them.
You should show them to me. Show them to the.
It's massive. Like it takes up that
Where
entire wall.
where is it now? Is it hanging?
It's at
in your
home.
house?
I actually brought it home. I took it apart. It's in like
Piece by
5
piece by
individual
piece.
pieces.
That's okay.
Yeah, I brought it home, but it's a bunch of cool random, drawings.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's excellente.
Yeah. But let's you were talking about Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I couldn't get into it.
Besides the sexual scenes.
I didn't know there were sexual scenes. I saw graphic. When
You're talking about like killing.
Yeah, violent. I wasn't talking about sexual scenes. I don't remember seeing sexual. I just saw the graphic scenes of.
Yeah. It's quite bloody.
It's very bloody. I couldn't
bloody.
stand it. I was like, oh, turn it off. And then these people had the brand new television set, and the shit was coming at me, and I'm like, I don't like fantasy as it. But you love England, yeah. But these are like dragons flying around and shit.
No, dragons aren't introduced until way later.
I didn't see the beginning. I didn't watch King of. I went and watched like one episode. I promised I would watch one episode.
You got to start from the beginning.
No, I don't.
There's one that you would hate.
don't.
It's called The Bloody Wedding. And
That might have been the one. That might have been the one I saw. Who knows?
Revered families, like people love them, and they get to
that
this,
show
they get
was
to this
really-
wedding to call a truce to maintain power of
The
North.
families.
And they murder every single one of them, and it's brutal. It's not even like it's hard to stomach. It's bad.
That's what I'm talking about. Like, I don't need to see.
But it's so good because
It's so
it's
good.
so good.
It's so good.
It's such a good TV show because the powers are
It's
always
still on. You
are
can
constant.
still
No,
watch
it's
it
not.
over. Yeah,
It's
you
over.
can but you can watch anything anymore. You can stream it. You
We
can
had
watch
8
it.
seasons. It's over.
But
you
what
can
I'm saying is
stream
you
it.
can still watch it. You can still watch it. Like, people have asked me, because they knew that I worked in jail and stuff, if I've ever seen Orange is the New Black. Have you seen that?
So my wife and my daughter watch it, and that's what I was gonna relate the TV show you were telling me about. I think it's kind of like Orange is the New Black.
Well, just so you know, I want to be clear. Let's be clear. The very first show that was about women lifers was Cell Block H, and that was from the UK, and that was a serial. It was a soap opera. And so all these other shows, believe it or not, are fucking basically based on, they all have the same story, that they were all screwed by somebody who they had the best interest at heart, and jail turned them into horrible people. That's what all of this was originally based on a show that you could still stream that was called I think it was Prisoner Cell Block H, and it was from the UK.
She didn't know her husband Enrique was selling pounds of cocaine off the coast of Florida. She just liked the high life.
So let me tell you, I can tell you a story. So one day, this is a long, long time ago, so I can tell you this. So I have a brother. I have 3 brothers. 2 older, 1 younger. I'm not gonna, it doesn't matter which brother. My brothers know which brother. And my friends would know which brother. Anyway, so one day, my brother comes to me and he was like, yo. He was like, because he was a boat captain. He was like, look at what I got. He shows me these pound of marijuana.
Okay.
Pound of
That's
marijuana.
legal now.
Right?
Yeah.
And yeah, in Florida it wasn't legal. But anyway, and he's
Statute of limitations?
And he's giving
This has
it.
been-
Yeah, it's a long,
Okay.
long time ago. And he's giving it, and he was giving it away.
Yeah.
Because the thing, he couldn't sell it. I'll tell you why. Because it definitely smelled like the ocean.
Yeah.
When it dried and stuff, you could light it up, but definitely still had that saltwater smell.
It's good. It means it had magnesium and all types of minerals in it. That's good.
But I've had people that have found the white stuff on the coast too. I mean, like in Florida, you never know what's going to wash on shore. You just never know what's going to wash on shore.
That's not a real song.
That's not what we can make. but we can make it. We can do
Yeah, we could make it.
We can make that happen. We got a guitar in there.
Yeah.
Singing softly.
Another TV show
Yeah.
that I like is.
Do you like one from old school days? What's your favorite one what did you
as a kid?
race to come home and couldn't miss?
Fresh Prince.
A Bel Air. And you know that the first Aunt Viv got fired because she didn't like him in real life. You know that, right?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, there was 2 Aunt Vivs. Aunt Viv from season
2.
1. Yeah, Will Smith, put that one Aunt Viv, got her fired, and I mean that is a dog. I'm not crazy about Will Smith, to be honest with you. No, I'm not crazy about him.
It's a good book.
I'm not crazy about him, and I think that it was terrible what he got away with for just that. Listen, man, I always think that somebody's job is they're working because they need to work. You know what I'm saying? So you don't really fuck around with. He didn't get along with the woman that played Aunt Viv, and so it was you got to get rid of her. Here's this young kid, get rid of her. What the fuck? That's somebody's income. That's bullshit.
Yeah, I would never
He ain't so much a fucking star now. I really don't think he's got a lot of respect from people anymore. He ain't looking too good.
Yeah,
Will Smith.
You don't play with nobody's pockets, and that's
the thing, exactly. You know what I'm saying? This woman was working and she couldn't get a job after that. That really sucks. That was a punk ass kid. He was a punk ass kid at the time too. You can't say that he just shouldn't have had that kind of control or power. No, you don't give a kid that kind of control and power.
Well, Justin Bieber had it, and the whole world forgave him.
And I don't think that you should give him that kind of control or power.
He was a punk ass little kid.
Yeah, absolutely. That was happening in the streets of Miami, that bullshit, and throwing eggs and stuff in people's. Again, you want to have fun, but when your fun fucks up other people's surroundings in their life, that ain't fun.
Yeah, but the reason why I'm saying I don't know is because I don't know what that level of responsibility is with that height of fame and success. That's got to be something.
You just got to be cautious. Listen.
Yeah, but if you're not
stay
well
in your
equipped
fucking
for it,
lane. Stay in your fucking lane.
But if you're not well equipped for it, it could be a strenuous thing. So it's not that I don't fully agree with what you're saying. Well, I mean, yeah, I don't fully agree with what you're saying, but it's that I guess I have a little more patience, I guess.
How do you know that I haven't been having this conversation for
120 years I've been out here talking about it.
That's right. That's right. So when I was a kid, we had shows. So I remember Happy Days. Yeah. Welcome back, Kata.
Happy Days.
No, it wasn't that.
No.
That wasn't that Happy Days.
You sing songs, so I was...
Yeah, no, I like that song. Yeah. I like that song a lot better than Happy Days.
Yeah.
Whatchamacallit? Whoa, happy day. Happy day.
Oh, happy days.
Yeah. So I'm all into that. That's a religious song, actually.
Jesus.
That's right. But Happy Days was not that one. That was with the Fonz. Fonzie.
Yeah.
And then Mork and Mindy. Wasn't a big fan of Morgan. Again, not that. But I was
I'm
a big
be
fan
honest,
of Robin
we
Williams.
didn't grow up watching
Williams.
too much TV.
Did you not have a TV?
No, we had a TV.
Okay, you said you were poor. Maybe you didn't have a TV. Maybe
no, we had a TV.
Maybe you listened to the radio. Maybe you listened to crickets. I don't know.
No, we had a TV. We played outside a lot. And
so did I. But we didn't play outside in the dark.
Into my older years, I really don't. I have a show like Yellowstone, and I haven't watched anything else. I don't watch movies typically. I don't.
You two when they're Aquaman.
I do when my son is interested in something.
In
like
Aquaman
we watched all the Marvel. I think there's
150 Marvel movies.
Something like that.
Yeah,
we went
crazy.
through all of them.
It's almost like the 90 Day Fiancé shit. There's just so many of them.
Yeah, but the thing about that is that it's so cool because you've got to remember every piece, and then every piece will come together. No, Marvel movies.
Well, that's good for people with dementia.
Is this proven?
No, I'm asking. But maybe an exercise, remembering everybody getting together, all the little pieces.
I don't know if you've seen it, but it's very complex. There's different worlds and different
That's what
powers.
I'm saying. That would be a test for people with dementia.
They would fail.
Then you would know they would have dementia. Are you gonna go anywhere on vacation? Are you planning on vacation anywhere soon?
Yes, to an undisclosed location.
Oh, when is that?
Cabin.
Oh,
It's
cabin.
gonna be next week.
Cabin fever. Oh, you already told me. I'm sorry, you already told me
it's
about
fine.
that. Cool.
And so I had to take off the remainder of the week because my son has surgery on the 18th.
I
He's
didn't know
getting his
that.
adenoids removed.
Is adenoids? Tonsils and adenoids?
Nope, just adenoids.
I've had both.
Yeah.
I woke up in that.
Well, they said the
I woke up in the middle of that
tonsils is
surgery when I was a
pretty rough.
kid.
Yeah.
I remember it.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Yeah, I remember it. I remember it, like looking up and seeing people like messing with shit over my head.
Oh, no.
Like, yeah.
That's scary.
No, well, I remembered it like after, like not during. Like I don't
Yeah.
remember going, oh my god, I'm away. I was 6. I was like 5, 6.
Yeah.
I just remember it.
Yeah, he's 3, so they're not gonna take him out. They're just gonna trim it back.
What about
Because
the tonsils?
he's laying there and he's breathing, but it's it's like,
Yeah.
and
Oh,
then
that's
he
not
goes.
good. Oh, so he'll have sleep apnea then.
Well, he won't have it
Now.
Yeah.
Right. So you'll take care of that.
Yeah.
Is he nervous about it?
He's a pretty fearless fucking kid. He's pretty resilient. It's all different once you get to the hospital, though. You know.
Well, and then he get ice cream
Yeah.
afterwards. They gave me ice cream when they took my tonsils, and I don't know what's up.
We'll bring in some ice cream and stuff.
How they have it at the hospital, just so you know.
Nah, that's the bad stuff. We use 100% fruit. My wife will.
Okay.
She'll blend up the fruit and she'll add agave or some type of sweetener, and then she'll freeze it, and kids
and
eat
then
it
you take
up.
it in. There you go. There you go. Okay.
So at least it doesn't have all the sugars and preservatives. And
Right. I can
So-
sneak in and give him that though. The sugars. And
the sugars. He's Auntie Lisa.
I sneak in
Here's
and do
the
that.
sugar.
Yeah.
Are you gonna give him oranges?
Oranges
Some
and
orange
bananas.
juice.
Oranges
So
and
Lisa
bananas.
says orange.
Well, I don't know
and I
who
find
Lisa is, but.
Oh shit! Bleep bleep. The bleep bleep.
I'll cover that. I say oranges. Absolutely.
Oranges.
Orange.
Orange juice.
Aren't you glad you didn't say banana? Remember that joke? You don't?
Knock knock.
Who's there?
No.
Orange. Aren't you?
Yeah.
Aren't you glad I didn't say banana? Oh, God. I don't know what else to talk about. I gotta pee. That's what I gotta talk about. I gotta go to the bathroom.
Okay.
Um,
See you later.
See ya!
Bye bye.
Bye! Ah.